Right, okay, what we're going to do here now is we're going to draw this toaster that you see here in the picture. We have a pictorial of the toaster over here, and the size is not the clearest in the world, but you can see that's 130 along that way, and it's 90 in the height, and it's 80 in depth. And we have a very distinctive shape on this here, so I'm going to show you a few features from that you can use for any drawing really, but to set this here up, and then we'll go into modeling the rest of it as well too. So I'll be to and fro from this here, and let's get started on it here. So I'll open up my Onshape. You can see I have a drawing done of it here. I have an assembly and I have an actual drawing of it here as well too. So I'm going to create, first of all, you can go to your Onshape account and just go into create a new document. I'm going to add the create part studio here, and when you've gone your create and document, you can name the document toaster. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by doing a sketch. I'm going to pick the plane that I want to sketch on, which is the front plane. You can see it's highlighted there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this here as well too. I'll call this the body, or the profile maybe, profile of the body, profile of the body of the toaster. And I'm going to click the blank space out here, and then I'm going to hit the letter N. Then what I want to do is I want to go to my line drawing here. So I'll go to line, I go up here. You can see it's activating the origin here. I'm going to go out. You can see that little cursor showing the horizontal line, and that shows me that's horizontal, and then it shows me that it's vertical there, which is great. I've got a line here at a bit of an angle. I've got a horizontal line. That's grand if it stays horizontal, but sometimes people make a mistake and go a wee bit off, and then maybe they go here and it doesn't meet up at the end. So I'm going to show you a few wee handy tips when you're drawing here. So that is vertical, which is fine. This isn't horizontal, so I'll just click this one. Up here you have what's called relations. Go down to the horizontal relations. So that is now horizontal. I want this line to be vertical. No, I don't want it horizontal. I'll click it again, go back to the relations, go vertical. Now it's not able to pull it back because I've got two relations. I need to delete one of those relations, so I'll delete that one. And now it's the wrong side, but I can drag it down. You can see it's staying in that vertical position the whole time. Then I want to have these 2 points touching, because you can see it's still an open structure. It's not going to do anything for me if I don't have that. So I'm going to put two of them coincident. And then another thing I'd like to do as well too is I'd like to have that line and that line the same height. So I'm going to put them equal. So whatever that side is going to be as well. I think we're pretty close on the relations here, so that's very handy setup. You can see they come up as well too with the lines when I have them. So you can see that's vertical and it's got equal as well. And you'll see the importance of that as you go on in your drawing anyway. So I'm going to put in the overall length of that there, which is 130. I know the height between that line and that line is 90. I know that the height of this line is 35. And watch what happens to the line on the left as well. It matches it once I have the two relations in the same. Now, I haven't figured it out myself, but you could probably put in a relation here between this line and this line. I suppose on the angles maybe, or whatever. I still have my dimension tool active up here, so I'm going to pick that. Some people get stuck here. All you do is just keep going up, and you can put in that. I'll do the same the other side, and again you see that it comes out that way or it goes down that way, and then just keep going up with the cursor, and it'll allow you to get it into where you want it at the end of the day. So I've got 130, 15 into them. I need another dimension now to kind of center it up on the planes here, and that there is, I'm going to pick it from that line to there, and I'll put it in 65 because that's half of 130, and everything's black, so it's all defined, so that's all very good. So I'm happy out. I can okay that there. I've gone out of my sketch. If you go out of your sketch and you're just thinking, oh, I can't get my line or I can't get that, that's because you're not in the sketch. You'll have to come back over here, right click it, and go to edit to get back into that. Once this box is open, that's a common mistake, to close that box, to leave that box open. Right, with that done, we want to go on to the next part, which is, it's kind of hard to see it there. I'll just turn it into isometric. You can see we've got this here plane here. I want to extrude that there to make the body of the toaster. So it asked me what faces and regions I want to use, so I'll pick that, and I'm going to pick a depth of 80mm. Now that's blind. I don't really want it blind because it's coming out to the front plane, the whole lot of it, because there is a few things that can be handy in that. I'm going to put in symmetric, so the plane now is in the middle and it's coming out even on both sides, and I haven't got a name on that there, so that's extrude. It is an extrude, so I'm going to leave it as extrude of profile or body or whatever you want, as long as you name it. It's always good to have it as a reference so you can go back to it. I have that there now. That's my toaster's body sorted out. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to sketch. I'm going to go into my sketch. It asked me, it's red up here because I haven't picked anywhere I want to sketch. I want to sketch on the top of this. You can see it's orange. I'll go N for normal 2. I don't have a name on that there. I'll just call it, it's the slots for the toast. I'm going to put it up there. I'm going to sketch on this here, and I'm going to do a couple of different sketches. Remember, keep this box open or else you're creating a new sketch if you go back in. So draw a line. I would pick here. You can see it comes up as a square because that's the midpoint, and that's the midpoint, and it runs through the center. And then the line keeps sticking onto it until you hit escape. And then what we want to do is we want to change that line. I want to highlight that line first, and I'm going to go up here and it says construction line, so it changes into construction line. You'll notice that the letter Q was there too for its quick. It's a quick key. And then I'm going to go to my corner rectangle. I'm going to draw a corner rectangle here now, but see, I'm still in that there command. I don't want that. I want that off before I draw my square. So I'll just highlight that square, or rectangle rather. I'm still drawing a square, so these are the things that you have to get used to. So I'll highlight here now. After highlighting those 2 rectangles I don't want, I get out of that. So remember, that has to be turned off before you go on to the next one. Your square, or your corner rectangle rather, there, now I can draw my corner rectangle. And I only want 1, even though there is 2. And if you're still in that, you'll keep drawing these squares. Make sure you exit out of the command. And if it is highlighted, you just have to click it and it'll be off. Now put in a few dimensions here. I know the dimensions here to here are 15. It's 15 on the other one as well. I might just go and check the 3-dimensional drawing that we have here for a second. 15 and 15, and it's 15 in there, and that's 20. And the distance between the two of them, and that's symmetrical, is 10, so that means it'll be 5 on my drawing here. So I'm still in the command. You can see it's highlighted blue. So from there to there, 5. This is 20. And this will probably be a dimension too many, as 15 is exactly what I wanted. And you see it grays it out if it has an extra dimension. If you have too many dimensions, it's not conflicting with any other dimension, so it's grayed out, whereas if it was red, there'd be just too many dimensions in it. So now what I have is I have this drawn on the top of the object. I've gone a wee bit off at an angle. I'll go back to my normal 2. Haven't gone out of anything here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror. So I want to mirror. So it asked me to select a mirror line, so I'm picking the center line. And then a handy way of doing it, you can say select entities to be mirrored. So I can pick all the individual lines that I want mirrored. I'll just delete that. I'll see now. I have to undo that there. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just get rid of that. I'll go back to what I had here. See now, I don't want to click too many things. What I want to do is I want to mirror again. So I'm picking the line, center line. And instead of picking individual lines, it asked me to select entities to be mirrored. So I'm going to just highlight each of them, and it automatically mirrors it for us. And that's a great job, because you don't have to draw it again, and you have the dimensions and everything. So I'll OK that. Now I want to take out the slots. To take out the slots, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to extrude. I want to remove it. It asks me what I want to remove. I want to remove that and that. It's already, I selected only one of them, so I have to make sure I've selected two of them. And I want to go to a depth of 55 millimeters down into the object, and it's removing these. And I haven't named it, so I'm going to name it as well too. I'm going to extrude of slots. I'll OK that. So now I'm kind of building up my design tree. I've got everything here now drawn, bar the handle. So the handle out here, and now it might make more sense that it would come out perpendicular off that surface there, but in the drawing it's a horizontal one. So the way that I'm going to go about this here is I'm going to use a plane to do this, and the planes can be handy to use. So I'm going back into it here. To draw the plane, what I need to do is I need to find the plane command, and anything that you're looking for up here you can't find, just type it into search tools, and I can put in plane, and you see it's highlighted, brings me to it. So it's asking me what do I want to pick as to offset the plane to. Well, I'm not actually offsetting the plane to the, I'm actually drawing it parallel to this here, because when you look at the drawing here, that's in line with the outside of the body. It's not the most obvious. I want to try and turn that there, but this line here is actually in line with the edge of that there, so the button is in line with the edge, and it's 25 up from that corner, and it's 10 in depth, and whatever width it is, it's 30. I'll be coming back to them. So my plane, I don't want it offset, I want it exactly on it, so there's no offset at all, and you can see the plane there, and I don't have a name on it here, and I'll just call it, I suppose, lever maybe. So I'll probably call it lever, and I'm okay with that. Now this is handy too. If I click this, I can stretch out my plane too. That makes it a wee bit easier maybe to identify and work on as well too, and you know, it doesn't really matter as long as you can see what you're going to do. So there's a lever plane. I want to sketch on the lever plane. I had it highlighted so it's already detected it. If it didn't, I'd have to sketch, you know, click there, or I'll have to click the lever here. I want to go normal to that, and I'm going to draw in this time with a rectangle. I'm going to draw a center point rectangle, and I'm going to pick in line with the center of that there, because I know it's going to be in the center, and I know it is a rectangle, and I'm just going to draw it randomly there anywhere. You can see it's blue. I think the size that I did tell you was that it was up from that corner 25, and then it's 10, so we'll start with those dimensions. So we'll go 25 from that edge there to there, 25, and then I'm going to go 10. So now all I need is the width of the thing. I'll have to look that again now. That's 30. So take my dimension here to that's in, it's still highlighted, so it's on, and I'll put that in at 30. And I haven't labeled that there. It's the lever sketch, and I'll OK that. Now what have I got there? All I have is a sketch of the rectangle that needs to make that lever that goes up to that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to extrude. I want to make it separate, the lever separate from the body of the toaster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay with new. If I wanted to make it part of the toaster, just make it add, but I want it new. I'm going to pick that face, that rectangle I'm after drawing. It's going the wrong way, and plus it's not going up to the way I wanted it. I wanted it just to go up to the next body, and I'm going to turn it around. You see what it does, it stops there. If I went blind, it'd be only up to 25 millimeters, and you see it actually goes into the thing. Maybe it's worth showing you here on the features of how it looks. You can get shaded with hidden edges, and you can see what's happening there. That's just going straight on into the toaster. I don't want that. I want it just up to next, which is very handy. And I have it named, I don't have it named, I have to name it extrude lever. And right, okay, that's pretty much us on that there. You can leave it at that if you wanted to when you're drawing it, because it's just exactly as it would be in the book. But just for a wee feature on this here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick fillet. It's red because I haven't picked anything here. I'm going to pick the entities fillet. I want to fillet that side, and I want to fillet that side. Oh, it didn't pick it. I picked something else. I picked an extrude of slots. You have to be careful of that there. So the names are very handy then when you have them done. And it's not too hard to put in. And a 3mm radius is fine with me. I don't want it very big. In fact, I could even go lower than that there. I could put it in at 2. And I'll OK that. Now it's called a fillet here. Because it's only fillet, I'm not going to rename it. And I want to hide some of them planes, so I'll come up to the design tree and I'll hide these planes now just to get the thing looking a little bit clear. So you can still see that I have the hidden lines are showing on that. And that is my toaster. That's my toaster drawn. And I suppose if I wanted to, just for another feature to show you, I could go down to section view. And I could pick the section plane that I could pick there to see what it looks like when it's cut in half. Maybe it's picked the right plane, and you can see the slots and all that there in it, and you can move that around and all the rest, like, you know, see what it's like when it's cut. So it gives you an idea. And another feature that you can see there, but to turn that off or get rid of it, you just have to come back over to the views here and turn off section view setting. And the last thing that I'll show you here before I would take you into showing you how to do the drawing and that is you've two parts there. We haven't the parts named. So that's a handle or a lever, I suppose. I'll rename that. So lever. And then this one here is the body or the toaster. Rename. T-O-A-S-T-E-R body. So now I have the two of them named. If I want to make an assembly, what I can do is I can go down to the bottom here and hit the plus button, and I need to create an assembly because if I want to make a drawing of these two different parts, now I didn't change the colours actually, I've got the circles here, it's toaster body, I could put it in something like a light grey, and maybe the lever, no I picked the wrong one, and pick the lever, then maybe make the lever something black or something like that there, that's too much I think, just a darker grey, and the body, yeah, maybe go a light silvery type colour maybe. So there we have it. And I'll just drag that back in. And I have the view that it's showing the hidden lines. If I don't want that view anymore, hit the little box there and turn it just to shaded. And I have my toaster now, and I will need to make an assembly of that. So what I need to do is come down to the square and create an assembly. Now, when I go to this here, I have to insert. It's asking me what I want to insert. I didn't rename this here. This is another drawing that I've done. So I want to go to an assembly. So a toaster assembly I have here. No, it's already assembled that there. I should really be picking my Part Studio one. So it's got the lever and the toaster, and they're mated together and all that there, and I'm just going to drop them in here, click it in, and that has the piece in. But sometimes you might have to pick it from the assemblies. I have a different drawing in there, kind of confusing the parts here, so it is. So Part Studio, or this is the assembly. I'll do it again, go insert, I'll pick my Part Studio, which was, now you might have it called toaster, pick it in and just click in the thing, and we'll OK that. And we've got our assembly now, and we have our Part Studio drawn as well too, which is our toaster. And I'll leave it at that there because that's quite long enough, and I'll show you how to do the drawing after that. Now to turn it off.